Okay, so we're here with day 2 on our coil bowls, and this is pretty much what we've done. Everybody's created lots of different kind of coils. I'm using a different color clay here, but it really doesn't matter which color you use. So this is where everybody started, and we're moving on to the next stage. Today, this is what your bowl should look like. The bowl should be completely covered with a variety of different kind of coil designs. You should have some horizontals, some spirals, some verticals, and then we roll little marble shapes to fill in all those little spots that might still have little holes. And I've filled in some of the big ones, so I'm going to do some smaller ones. And if you'll just press those into any blank spaces that are open, it'll kind of even everything out and keep the bowl from having gaps in it. And I'm going to put one more long one right here. And I might not be able to see that one on the other side, but it'll fill it in. So once I've got this completely filled in as much as possible, and now that I'm turning it this way, I can see another spot. And that's why it's a good idea to turn your bowl at every angle and really look at it carefully to see if you have it completely filled in. By doing that, you can see if you've got all of your spaces as filled in as you possibly can. Another thing I'm looking at is I want my top edge about as even as I can get it, because I do want to add a lid to this when I'm finished. I've got 2 more spots right here. So I'm going to, it's kind of like you're plugging the holes with interesting little shapes. Now, once you've got that done, you're going to do the scoring. I'm just taking a fork, and I'm going to really mess up the inside. And I want to be careful that I'm not moving any of the shapes around. So I have to sometimes push the shapes back in place. But by scoring, it's kind of a messy way of making all those pieces go together. So I'm going to very quickly take my fork and just go through the whole inside of the bowl. And it's forcing these pieces together. I'm going to go in different directions. I'm going to go down on the sides here. It almost looks like Velcro. And I kind of think of it as Velcro because it causes these pieces to stick together. Once I've done that, I've got it really pushed together well, then I'm going to take my fingers and really push this clay together. My goal is to make it look like it's all one piece on the inside. And I'm not going to take your whole class time to show you this because it'll take a good 5 minutes or maybe even as much as 10 minutes. But once I'll work on one side so that you can see. Once I get this very even, then I want to try to get it an even thickness. So I'm holding it with one hand on the outside, and then I'm taking my fingers and very firmly pulling it together. And at the same time trying to keep it real even thickness. Once that is finished, okay, who took my, there it is, there's my sponge. Thank you guys. All right, it was me, not you. I've got a sponge that's wet. I've dipped it in my bucket of water. I get it really wet and then squeeze out most of the water. And now you will not do this when your bowl looks like this. But I'm saving a step, and so I'm just going to show you what it's going to look like. With a really wet sponge, I'm going to go over the whole inside. Now I've got a little gap right here. I don't want to do that with a wet sponge. I want to do that with my finger. But by going over the whole entire bowl on the inside with a really wet sponge, it's going to make it very smooth. Now this will be the very last thing that you do. And you really don't want to do this until the whole entire bowl is completely smooth together. Once you've gotten to this stage, then you're ready to let your bowl dry out. So once the bowl has dried out, we will take the plastic bag and pull it up and lift the whole bowl out. Now this one's not quite ready for it, but I'm just showing you that's how it's going to be pulled out. So when you come back tomorrow, we'll see what the outside looks like, and then we'll let it continue drying. All right, have a great time putting your bowl together, and we'll see how they look.